What's up, sports fans? This is Jake Waxman. Coming to you live from the studio here in Waterford, WTV10, with yet another Friday Roundtable. And in the middle of March Madness, we'll get to that in a bit. But first, baseball.
Absolutely. We've got two things of baseball to talk about. First, let's get into the WBC final because, oh man, I am not happy with Team USA on this one. A loss to Venezuela on Tuesday night in Miami. Total embarrassing performance by the team all around. Aaron Judge especially was not good. Tarek Skubal only pitching the one game against Great Britain, and then being in the team dugout and when the final happened, no impact on him whatsoever. Clayton Kershaw also ended early. He's done. He was done. And Mark DeRosa, I know you're talking about coming back in 2029 or 2030 when the next WBC happens, but how about no? Can we just get someone competent that can do good managing instead?
Oh my goodness, yeah. So I heard about the score pretty much 2-1. Okay, so first of all, congratulations to Venezuela. They deserved it. Well-earned victory for them. I'm happy for them. I'm not mad that the U.S. lost to them. I'm more upset about just the matter that we lost to Venezuela. 2-1, quiet bats. You got the big names like Tyler mentioned, like Aaron Judge. Yeah, the judge was absent from the jury in this case, for lack of better word.
Basically.
But look, changes have got to be made when going forward because from an American perspective, okay, baseball is America's sport. We created baseball. Our ego is hurt right now. Our pride is hurt right now. Like we are, oh my goodness. Like you wonder, where does baseball go as an American, where does it go from here? Being the American sport that is the historical American sport that it is. Where do we go from here? Because this is going to hurt for 4 years. It ticks me off. And, I'm not much of a baseball fan, but I know that history-wise, this is America's sport. We gotta. This is embarrassing. I'm frustrated right now.
I hear you, man. But if there's any good consolation that we lost to Venezuela and didn't lose to someone like Italy, comprised mainly of Italian Americans, that would have been a bit embarrassing.
Yeah, and in fairness to Venezuela too, at least they send some of their players to the MLB, like the pros here in the United States. So there's plenty of great players from Venezuela, but lots of firepower too. And look, you know what? Here's a joke for you. I don't like to get into politics, but I guess we kind of deserve this considering we kidnapped their president. So they kidnapped our sport.
Ugh.
It's rough. But look, changes going forward. Team USA, we got to make some changes here to USA baseball going forward, okay? First and foremost, Mark DeRosa cannot be the coach, okay? He cannot. The U.S. will not win anything of significance if he is the coach again because, you know what? He pretty much, he was lazy in the coaching-wise. He was lazy in the qualifying rounds, and he didn't learn a gosh darn thing in those qualifying rounds. So you can't have him back as coach. I think we need to be looking at younger players going forward, and not the old guard of vets. And just on top of that, look, like I said, this is going to hurt for 4 years. So we got to learn from this day by day, and we got to learn from this by making adjustments all the way there because, you know what, look, thank God we won a gold medal in hockey at the Winter Olympics because otherwise this would sting far worse than it does right now, especially if you're a diehard American sports fan and a diehard baseball fan like my man Tyler Lavalette over here.
Right. Yeah, it's not pretty, but hey, Miami proved itself once again to be a good staging place for group play and the championship rounds going forward in the past two WBCs. So good for that good for them. San Juan, I think they're pretty good. You can never go wrong with the Tokyo Dome in Japan. And Houston as a second home for where the U.S. played was also a good spot. We'll see what happens going forward. Tampa Bay might, if their new stadium gets ready for the Rays in 29, they might be a potential host in 2030. So we'll see.
Absolutely. I guess that's one positive that we Americans can smile on, if anything, from this difficult chapter in American baseball history. So to close it off, look, changes got to be made because this is going to hurt for 4 years. Learn each and every day, make adjustments. Look, younger players, new talents need to be added to this baseball roster, but you need a coach. Biggest change that USA Baseball needs to make, we need a coach that understands how to maximize talent and bring out all the firepower, all the stops on defense, everything that this team needs to win. So, to close it off, no DeRosa, no.
Stay with MLB Network, Mark DeRosa. You're competent there. I'll say that. Stay there.
Stay in your batting lane. Please, stay in your batting lane. That's all I ask.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of baseball, we're getting close to the start of MLB season, so hopefully we have a fantastic MLB season to help us put this dark chapter in American baseball history aside. I'll let Tyler start things off.
I will not make any World Series predictions because let's just get through the 162 game marathon. While instead, first we'll go deeper into the playoff run when we get closer into September. That being said, let's go over who I will have for the 6 teams that win their divisions. We have in the AL East. I've got the Blue Jays winning that one. They're good. They're going to want to come back and beat the Dodgers and prove that they belong in contention for another World Series appearance. AL Central, Tigers. We'll see how it goes with guys like Valdez and Justin Verlander. Kevin McGonigal in the minors. He's been doing pretty well. He might make it on the opening day roster next week in San Diego. We'll see. AL West. Mariners are good. They're a team to really watch out for, though. Don't be surprised if Houston tries to make some noise to recapture their former glory. And the NL side, you got we'll go with the Phillies. Let's go with the Phillies for that one because they could still make some noise. We'll see what happens even without Castellanos now that he's with the San Diego Padres. With the NL Central, I got the Cubs. I still keep having questions about the Brew Crew. Somehow they proved me wrong. But for now, I still got the Cubs winning the Central. NL West, is there any question? Dodgers.
All right. So there's Tyler's predictions for the champions of the 6 divisions in baseball. Okay. I'm going to make this short and simple. He and I are in agreement over who's going to win all the divisions in the AL side of things. I like the Blue Jays in the East. They're still powerful. They're hungry. They want some revenge. Got to go with them for the East. The Tigers, who I think could be a team to beat this year, got them in the Central. And, like Tyler said, the Mariners are proving pretty good. So, why not the Mariners? And you know what? They're going to be hungry to get to the World Series and win the World Series. Mm-hmm. No doubt about that. We might disagree on a few little things. We're going to start off with the east side of... okay, did I say NL or
Yeah,
AL?
hey, you did the AL. We're all in agreement on the AL.
Okay, I want to make sure I did not just butcher that.
Okay, yep, I did AL first as well. So
Okay, the NL, things are going to get a little... Okay, you know what? This is going to be my... Jake, what the heck are you talking about prediction? What is on your mind? You are not a baseball knower. You making a prediction like that, but you know what? I'm going to make this anyway. The NL East, I'm going to go with the Mets. Call me crazy. I'm going to go with the Mets. I don't know why, but there is the Mets have talent. It's just a question of whether or not they can maximize it. At some point, they're going to get it. Or they're going to be low Mets again, according to you, Tree.
yeah.
Tyler and
Only
I,
one way to find out.
Tyler and I are in agreement that the Cubs are going to win the Central. The Cubs, they're bringing back most of their pieces, and they added some talent. And you know, the Brewers, I think they could still be a good team, but I don't know if they'll be as strong as the Cubs this time around. And then, of course, why do I even bother saying? You know what? I'm just going to say it anyway. NLS, Los Angeles Dodgers. What more do I need to say?
They got Otani. They got Yamamoto. They got Sasaki. What else can you really say about them? Any team could win that. The Padres, who knows? They could do good. The Giants could do good. But at the end of the day, we got the Dodgers going all the way. And we'll see about the Mets in the NL East side.
I was going to say, do you have any predictions for the wild cards? I'm just curious.
AL side, Guardians and let's go Astros.
Okay.
NL side, Brewers and Mets.
Ooh. All right. Oh, okay. So we're both in agreement then that the Mets are in the playoffs. We just have different predictions.
I realize it. Actually, I think it's
all good.
yeah. I think it's more so. Actually, I think it's actually 4 teams in the 3 wild card spots. So I'm going to
You're right.
add.
I was thinking about that.
Okay, so I said Guardian in the outside. I said Guardians and the Astros. I'm going to also add the Red Sox and Red Sox. And outside I said Brewers and Mets. I'm going to also add the Padres. Now NL wild card arrangement doesn't necessarily mean that it's second best in each of the divisions. So you never know what's going to happen in the wild card round. So with wild card placements.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Tyler said, I was going to say, Tyler, that would have been a heck of a change. Like, oh, we just went from 3 to 2 that quickly. The MLB made this decision. I didn't know that.
No, I just
it's all good.
Brain fart there.
I have them all the time while we're even doing the show. Some of which I just don't tell you guys about.
All right, what do you got?
All right, so for my wild cards, okay, you know what? I like the Red Sox too. I got to go with the Yankees. Okay, I don't like the Yankees, but these guys always find a way to get to the postseason. That's just the way baseball works. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense. And, you know what? I'll go Guardians too.
Okay.
Cleveland. So I guess I'm keeping it around the East. You know what? Did I just say the East is going to be really stacked, or did I just indicate that?
You might have.
Whew, yeah, that could be a stacked division. I mean, it's possible. We'll find out if I'm right or not. And then on the NL side of things, thank you for that correction, I actually kind of like the Cincinnati Reds.
Huh.
The Reds last year looked like they were kind of making a rally. I think did they make the playoffs or no?
They got swept by the Dodgers in the wild card round.
That's right. I could see them returning though. Young talent there. I also really like the Padres. They're strong out there too, and I gotta really put a lot of thought into this last wild card. Oh my goodness. You know what? What if I just say Orioles?
Oh, that's AL.
AL, sorry. You know what? I'm gonna do this instead. Who did I say was my third wild card team? Okay, so I had now I'm really backtracking. I told you I have brain farts too, folks.
Well, yeah, you had if I'm not mistaken, you had the Yankees, Red Sox, and Guardians in the AL side.
I think we'll sub out the Orioles with the Guardians.
Okay, so Yankees, Orioles, and
Yeah.
Red Sox. Okay.
I just have a gut feeling like it's very difficult, not impossible, but very difficult for like one division to have all the wild cards. Okay. You know what? I'm just going to say Giants for that last wild card spot for the NL side of things.
Right.
But you never know. Again, folks, I don't claim to be a baseball knower. Okay? I try to watch baseball, but I am no baseball knower. So if there's some specific advice I have for baseball, I can't give you specific advice for baseball because it's just, I mean, I try to watch it. I enjoy watching it, going to games with my man Tyler, but Tyler is much stronger in baseball, way stronger in baseball than I will ever be. So with that being said, that's just my predictions for baseball. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yep, we'll just have to see what happens when the season goes on.
Indeed, we will. So that's our MLB predictions. And now it's on to the madness. All right, March Madness. The games are well underway. So me and Tyler, we're going to start by talking about yesterday's headlines. The first official day of March Madness, Thursday. And wow, Tyler Lavalette, there is a lot to unpack here because yesterday was insane.
I think yesterday proved that we're not going to have any March Madness.
You are right about that. So one of the big stories from last night was High Point. High Point pulling off the biggest upset of this March Madness over number 5 seed Wisconsin. So another 12-5 upset, if you will.
Nice.
Oh, man. And you know what? Here's the thing. This is what I got to say about, Wisconsin. You live by the 3, you die by the 3. You could say that about them, or, they're prudent on offense, just struggling on defense, as we saw in those final minutes. But here's something else that really comes to mind when it comes to the Wisconsin Badgers. You want to get to March Madness, you want Greg Gard as your coach. You want to win in March Madness, you don't want Greg Gard as your coach. Look, if this were any other, here's the thing. If Greg Gard was constantly taking, say, not power forward teams, but, smaller division level teams, say a MAC team to the tournament almost every single year and then losing either the round of 64 or the round of 32, you'd say he's doing a great job. He's a he's a good coach, but you would say he has been doing a fantastic job at these smaller schools. But here's the thing. He's the coach of Wisconsin. The expectations, and this is a Power 4 school. This is a Big Ten school. The expectations are going to be, high. We got to get to that second weekend. And under Greg Gard, Wisconsin's only been to the second weekend once in his tenure. And they haven't been since, I think, either 2017 or 2018. It's either, a round of 64 exit or a round of 32 exit. They had a really good team in 22 and had home court advantage in the first round. Lost in the round of 32 to Iowa State. I mean, Wisconsin, you got a lot to think about. Where do you go from here? And Greg Gard's seat has to be really freaking warm right now.
Okay, if you think that seat is warm, may I introduce you to the debacle down in Chapel Hill?
Yes, the Hubert Davis debacle. Here's the good Wisconsin, here's the good news for you. Your loss was actually not the most embarrassing loss. North Carolina has to be feeling the most embarrassed out of all the teams that lost yesterday. They had a 19-point lead in the second half of their game against VCU, and they blew it away just like dust in the wind. And, oh my gosh, really horrible. Like Tyler said, really horrible coaching by Hubert Davis. He shrank the rotations at the worst possible time. He didn't play his bench enough when they were up by 19, as I mentioned. And then you got guys on his team that were gassed. They needed to sub out some guys. And then shot selection, just terrible shot selection. We need 2s, okay? We don't need 3s. Oh wait, we're right over 3. Let's shoot that 3. Brick. Or miss. I hate it when college basketball teams do this. It drives me nuts. It drives me bonkers. When you don't need a 3, you just get the ball inside. You're going to be contested. All right, it happens. There was a moment where North Carolina, they were driving in. They had the ball inside. And they could have laid it up. The guy decides to pass it backwards while it's in the paint. They shoot a 3, and they miss from 3. And couldn't take advantage of. They were missing all sorts of shots at the end of that game, and the wheels just came right off. The total collapse. And you know what? Tyler Lavalette is right. It's all on Hubert Davis.
Yeah, that is just yikes. At least Duke is nervously laughing, knowing that the Tobacco Road rival is out, which is good. B, are lucky they did not get the 16 upset special. Oh, they got lucky.
Yes, they did. And, I'm going to be honest, it would have busted my bracket over here massively, but I will tell you guys this. I was kind of hoping for that. I was hoping Siena would find a way to beat Duke and score the third ever 16-1 upset. I wanted it to happen. Saints over the Devils. I mean, that would have been very nice. But, and you know what? Hats off to Siena, too. They gave it everything they had, but there were moments where the starters needed to rest, and coaching let the starters down. He needed to rest the starters when they were up at moments, and they didn't. And it ended up the starters were tired by the end of the game. The team was gassed at the end. But that being said, hey, Siena, hats off to you. You did great. You gave it everything you got. That's all we could ask for. As for Duke, I got concerns about Duke right now. They do not look like the team that's been rolling all season long. I know they've got some injuries, but I also am wondering, is fatigue starting to settle in with this Duke team? Because if that's the case, that's not good at all. Because the teams that go far in March Madness are the teams that can handle fatigue and teams that can play in any kind of game, including the ones where you're going to flat out be tired. Simple as that. And first of all, so we had Duke, and I want to give a huge shout out and congrats to Nebraska basketball. At long last, they've won a tournament game. They defeated Troy yesterday, who was also seeking their first tournament win in a very convincing fashion. And now Nebraska, they await Vanderbilt tomorrow for the right to go to their first ever Sweet 16. How about that?
Yeah, well deserved for them. And also, one of the last night games, St. Louis knocked off Georgia. Who had that happening?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, 102 points. That's right. The St. Louis Billikens. They don't even play in a Power 4 conference, but they took Georgia to the woodshed. They they put up on an SEC team 102 points. Look, I know Georgia's not the best basketball team. Hey, they're a good team because they made March Madness, but even for a team that doesn't have a great history in college basketball, that's painful to watch. I mean, as a smaller market team just goes up, they not only they took the fight out of the Dogs, literally, and put up 102 points. Holy crap. Oh, my goodness. And one other thing I just want to mention real quick. Hubert Davis, since he's been with North Carolina, I know we're kind of backtracking. I apologize. Hubert Davis, since he's been with North Carolina, I mean, first year he was there, he took him to a Final Four, but since then he's either missed the tournament or made the tournament. At some point, you got to figure out the in-between. And if you're North Carolina, a lot to think about this offseason.
Not fun. Meanwhile, here in the state, both teams that represent Michigan won their games. So, no questions there. They will be playing tomorrow.
Yep. Honestly, Michigan, I mean, there was some moments where Howard did kind of challenge Michigan, more particularly to end the first half. But Michigan, once they got their focus back, there was no stopping them last night. Howard, they gave it the best they had, but Michigan's a machine right now. And even with their point guard, L.J. Carson, out, they still got plenty of options there. And Michigan State, too much for North Dakota State to handle, whether it was that fantastic defense or that offense scored points, and a lot of them too. So both Michigan schools looking strong to start off March Madness, and both of them, you will see them on Saturday for the round of 32.
Yep, tomorrow's going to be a fun one. We also had some fun, interesting matchups today. We even had a game going to overtime. Kentucky got their win today. It wasn't easy.
Oh, Kentucky, you dodged another embarrassment. These upset merchants again. Only this time they dodged it. Okay. Here's my bracket real quick, and I know you guys can't see it very clearly, but that's because this bracket's really tiny. That's not your guys' fault. I'm gonna find it real quick. Okay, here we go. All right, so I had Santa Clara over Kentucky. I picked Santa Clara. Well, that didn't work out, but it is what it is. And not Hofstra, but Santa Clara gave it everything they had, and they took Kentucky to overtime. So they should be proud. And Kentucky, I mean, you're lucky to escape this time.
Yeah.
Very lucky to escape.
Yeah, you got lucky there this time. I mean, you aren't facing the same fate you did at Oakland did to you 2 years ago.
Speaking of that, Tyler, tomorrow will be the 2-year anniversary of my favorite upset in March Madness, Oakland over Kentucky. I still got the Oakland fight song stuck in my head from that day.
And you know, I'll always remember the fact that I called you after it ended.
That was a good conversation.
Told you to enjoy that moment. I went to the Waterford Buffalo Wild Wing with Mark 2 days later, and when we went to get some dinner, and we ordered carry out, but we stayed because we thought Oakland was going to pull it off again against North Carolina State. Place was going crazy at times, but it was not meant to be.
Absolutely. I mean, what a game. And that was a conversation you and I had, and I still remember that, and I appreciate it. It was a great conversation.
Yep, telling you to appreciate the moment. You never know what's going to happen again.
Yep.
And, well, you still have every right to appreciate it.
I still do. Greg Campy and those boys. And Jack Golke, still a March Madness legend for taking down Kentucky. I mean, I remember that game, too. Every shot that Jack Golke put up, he made. He couldn't miss that day. And Kentucky just had no way of stopping him. He was, I mean, you could say he was Superman that day, whatever you want to say, but Golke was not going to be denied that day.
Nope.
A couple other things going on of course, it's day 2 of March Madness, or day 2 of the round of 64. We got Miami taking on Tennessee at the moment right now. Miami, they're looking to do what Texas did to BYU last night, pull an upset on Tennessee. Miami, I'm happy they made the tournament. They deserved it, and they're showing it right now. They showed in the round of 64 in Dayton why they deserve to be in the tournament. Big win over SMU, and you know what? Don't stop there. Go get another one over Tennessee. Fight hard. And a couple other things. Arizona with a big win over LIU. They're looking like the favorites to win it all, like a lot of people have predicted, but still early on. And Texas Tech, I mean, this could be the March Madness where a lot of teams, because we have a lot of teams coming into March Madness this year who are fighting the injury bug. Like, they are hurt to hell, for lack of better words. Texas Tech is one of them, along with the Villanova Wildcats. There'll be questions about whether or not both of those two sides, well, there was a question for Texas Tech whether or not they could win a tournament game without JT Toppin. That's out of the books. They ended up with a big win over Akron today. Villanova looking for a big win despite having some injuries in the lineup as well. And congratulations to Virginia, by the way, who got their first tournament win. Okay, they beat Wright State, avoided the upset. First NCAA tournament win for Virginia since they won it all in 2019. Crazy.
Yeah, good for them.
And one more thing I want to get to in terms of today's stories. Obviously, representing Purdue, we got a big game tonight against Queens. And I'm not, for the record, I made a huge mistake like a lot of other people did. It's not Queens, New York, folks. This is Queens out of North Carolina. Not to be confused with the neighborhood known as Queens, New York.
Yep, the borough.
Yep. So, big game, Purdue. Don't overestimate your opponent. Go on in there, take care of business, play the basketball you've been playing as of late, especially for the Big Ten tournament. And a couple storylines from this game. Will Trey Kaufman be good to go for Purdue? He hurt his shoulder against Michigan. Will he be good to go? All signs point to yes there. And Braden Smith, Braden Smith is on the doorstep of NCAA history. With an assist tonight, he ties Bobby Hurley for the all-time lead in assists made all-time, the NCAA record for assists all-time. If he gets 2 tonight, he will pass Bobby Hurley, and Braden Smith will become. I have a feeling that we're going to see some history tonight, and we're going to see Braden Smith become college basketball's all-time assist leader.
Wouldn't that be something?
And here's the weird thing: all he needs is 2 tonight.
Wow.
Just 2 assists tonight, and which is a good thing because if Purdue's going to have a great chance to win March Madness this year, I'll confess to you guys, I picked Purdue to win in my bracket. If they're going to win, we need Braden Smith to be taking more shots because Purdue, they're a more difficult team to beat when Braden Smith is taking shots and making shots too.
That he is. And I want to give a quick shout out to all the parties involved with TNT, CBS, Westwood One, and NBC Sports. Not because for one reason. On Tuesday night, Brian Anderson was calling the first four matchup with Dick Vitale and Charles Barkley in Dayton when his voice was starting to give out. It was later revealed that he would fall sick and would be under the weather and was not able to call any of the matches in Buffalo in the East and Midwest regions. Stepping in was Tigers announcer and Westwood One play-by-radio announcer for those games, Jason Benetti, with who I mentioned the kind help from all those other parties involved, allowing him to call games on both TNT and CBS. Meaning he will now have called matches on all four of the big OTA channels here in the U.S., and which allowed him to call both wins for Michigan and Michigan State since they both played in Buffalo.
That is what, and those are, if I remember correctly, Tyler, TNT and CBS, they're rival networks, aren't they?
Well, they're part of different broadcast groups or collaborating to work with the NCAA to air all the games ever since 2011, though Warner Bros. Discovery could get acquired by Paramount, so could all very well be under Paramount's umbrella.
Absolutely. But happy for Jason Benetti to get this kind of an opportunity. I mean, any opportunity to call a big-time game is sweet, but you know what? This time of year, March Madness, you get the call saying, all right, we need you to sub in for a guy. We need your help calling the game. You get that call. That's special, because there's so many special things that can happen in March Madness. And when you're the guy that's getting the call to literally call the game, yeah, that's an honor. So I was so happy for Jason Benetti, and I thought he did a great job too, stepping in. His voice was, he's one of those voices you want. I have my favorites too. Tyler likes Jason Benetti. A guy that I really like is Robbie Hummel. Okay, he's a Purdue alum. I'll give you that. But the guy is also really good at calling games on Big Ten Network, Big Ten games. And recently, Robbie's been getting a lot more looks from CBS to call March Madness games. And with those opportunities Robbie's gotten, he's improved every single game that he's called. It's amazing to watch. And also want to give a shout-out to CBS for allowing two legends to call the game, to call one of the first four games, I think between Texas and BYU. How about this? Charles Barkley and Dick Vitale got to call a game together. I thought, this is wholesome.
Yeah, they did a game. So ESPN Games had Barkley with Vitale, so there was that playing nice partnership with Disney and Warner Brothers there, which was great. And this was just the culmination of that.
All right. I'll try to do. You know what? Here's how I felt about. Here's how I feel about March Madness so far, and here's how I felt about that collaboration between Charles Barkley and Dick Vitale. Okay, brace yourself. I'll do my best impersonation, but yeah, baby.
Nice.
That's my okay. I know it's not the greatest, but it's my best Dick Vitale impersonation.
He's a legend. We gotta appreciate him while we still can.
Yep, he's been through a lot of fights with cancer, but he's been winning so far. I hope he keeps going as long as the good Lord will allow him to.
Absolutely. And I'm sure Brian will be back on Saturday, tomorrow's matches. And, hey, Jason will, of course, gets to start calling baseball on NBC next Thursday when the Diamondbacks and Dodgers open up at Dodger Stadium for the Dodgers World Series banner raising ceremony. Mm-hmm. Which means Dan Dixon's going to be calling the opening game for the Tigers against the San Diego Padres. But, hey, they got good people in Detroit to line up when need be, and they allow Jason to have these national exposure opportunities. So, good all around.
Yep. A win-win for a lot of people. I mean, I know it's not like the situation, like the way he wanted it, having to sub in for someone who came down ill, but when you get these opportunities, you take advantage of it, take it by the reins, and, give it everything you got. And Jason Benetti did just that, and kudos to him. And so far, sports fans, what a March Madness so far. And we're only just getting started.
Yeah, by this time next week, we'll be in the thick of the Sweet 16, getting ready for the Elite 8.
Yep. We'll see what more comes out of it. I mean, who's going to be in the second weekend, and who's going to have that shot? Who's going to have that hunger to go to the Final Four in the heart of Indy in 2026?
That's going to be amazing.
Oh, yeah. All right, sports fans, that is all we got for this week's Friday Roundtable. Once again, special thanks to my man Tyler Lavalette for all his hard work, and special thanks to everyone here in the WTV 10 studio, Josh, Jim, Denise, Whitney, and I want to give a special thanks to Logan for his good work today. Without you folks, this would not be possible, so thank you all for that. This stuff is amazing.
Logan, I think you're doing a fantastic job behind the camera work today. So we appreciate you helping today.
Yeah, good. You're doing great, Logan. You keep up that good work, man. All right. Without further ado, we are going to sign off. Sports fans, enjoy the March Madness. This is Jake Waxman.
And Tyler Lavalette.
Wish you all a good weekend. Take care, everyone.